Good morning, everyone. It's okay. Good morning. Hi, everybody. I'm going to kindly ask you to take your seats. It's now 8:30, and we'd like to start the program. There are plenty of seats in the front. Thank you. Habari Asabui, good morning. Greetings in Swahili, good morning. If you can hear me, put one hand in the air. If you can hear me, switch hands. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. All right. Am I loud enough for the folks in the back? Can you hear me? I see thumbs up. Up a little bit more. I mean, I could scream, but I don't think we want that. Okay, let me try that again. Is that better? It felt like it went up. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for the folks back there. We have plenty of seats towards the front. So be good, students. Come towards the front, please. Yes, there's extra credit. We're giving out A's right here in front. Please find a seat. Fantastic. It's wonderful seeing all of your beautiful faces. We are here to celebrate spring 2026. Am I right? Yes. The theme of this convocation is very long, but I'm going to say it's practicing imagination. And I wanted to just set a little context before we get into the land acknowledgement and the rest of our program. Imagination, I feel, is something that we really need in this time. Since the last time that we saw each other in August, a lot has happened. Maybe that's an understatement, but I'm just going to say it again. A lot has happened. And it's possible that all the things that have been screaming at us has caused us to lose our imagination. And maybe we have not had a time to just reflect, pause, and think about how things could be a little bit different. I was looking or watching a keynote by poet, activist, podcaster, Adrienne Marie Brown. And she said that imagination, she's amazing. She said that imagination is something that we can't lose if we want the world to be a better place, basically. And what she said is she suggests that we adopt a science fiction behavior. I was like, ooh, that sounds good, a science fiction behavior. And what she said, that science fiction behavior really continues to ask the question, what if? If we tinker with something, what if? And people who have the scientific or the science fiction behavior believe that they can change the future. And so if they just tinker with a little something, maybe something different will happen in the future. And then they'll tinker with this, right? So my hope is that today and for the rest of the semester, we can think about how we can adopt a science fiction behavior. And in our classrooms, in our service areas, when we work with students, could we just tinker a little something and maybe the outcome will be just a little bit different and just a little bit better for ourselves and for our students, right? Thank you. And lastly, at the Professional Development Institute, we had 3 elders come and chat with us about ancestral intelligence. And there's 3 takeaways that I took from that. First was from Al Striplin, and he said, nothing happens by accident, right? When things happen, we just have to take a look at that and see what is the meaning, what is the message, and move with it. The second was the idea of kapwa, and that's from Dr. Strobel. And that's a Filipino concept that says we are all connected. And lastly is Sankofa. That was shared with us by Mwalamu Mills. And she says we need to go back and get it. So I want all of us to be thinking about what can we learn from our ancestral knowledge, and how can we bring that ancestral knowledge into the future with our science fiction behavior. So with that, we're going to start by centering ourselves in this place on the occupied lands of the Miwok and Nishinon. We're going to have our land acknowledgement and then move into our program. Welcome to Spring 2026.
Good morning. We pause to acknowledge that Cosumnes River College sits on the land in Miwok and Nisenan people. We remember their continued connection to this region and give thanks to them. We offer our respect to their elders and to all Miwok and Nisenan people of the past and present.
All right, our program starts today where it should, with a voice of students. And so I believe that we have our Student Senate President. There you are, thank you so much. I was looking way past you, I'm so sorry. Our Student Senate President is gonna come and share some remarks with us. So please welcome up Iman Qatar.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Iman Qamar, and I'm the current standing president of Cosumnes River College's Student Senate Board. This is my second semester serving. Thank you. This is my second semester serving CRC students, and I am truly excited for what this new year has in store. I am also incredibly grateful for my entire board, whose commitment to student advocacy makes this role meaningful and rewarding. Serving in this role has been one of the most fulfilling experiences of my time at CRC. My board and I are continuously dedicated to creating an environment on campus that supports student voices and encourages student involvement. We believe that leadership begins with listening and that meaningful change happens when students feel represented and valued. My past semester as president has introduced many new opportunities for me as well as responsibilities. Through these experiences, I learned a great deal about leadership and the importance of collaboration and advocacy. Additionally, I am proud to share that the ASCRC board currently holds 15 student senate members, which reflects a strong sense of student engagement and interest in shaping our campus community. From the beginning of my presidency, one of my primary goals has been to advocate for students in STEM fields. Access to required STEM courses plays a major role in students' academic success, and course availability can significantly impact a student's educational timeline. With the support of my board and the guidance of President Dr. Bush, I will continue working towards improving access to these courses. Our focus is to ensure that students across all areas of studies have the opportunities and accessibility needed to accomplish their academic goals. This role has also reinforced an important idea for me that real progress takes time and meaningful change is built through consistency and dedication. Leadership is not about instant gratification, but about staying committed to a purpose and continuing to advocate even when results are not immediate. This perspective has shaped how I approach my responsibilities and how I strive to serve the student body. As I reflect on these responsibilities and the lessons that come with them, I'm reminded that leadership is not only shaped by meetings, policies, or goals, but also by moments that stay with us on a personal level. Last semester, my board attended a conference hosted by Seesaw in Santa Clara, consisting of student senate boards all over the state of California. And while I was there, I made several meaningful and important connections, taking part in informative workshops that I was actually able to apply to my own senate board. I frequently recall a quote empowering speech given by one of my new friends I made at this event. It was on the last day of our conference, and many of us were hanging out and debriefing when this person abruptly got up from his seat, stood on his chair in front of hundreds of people, by the way, and began asking for everyone's attention. Now, I have removed some parts of his original speech since he was a very ecstatic person with an ecstatic vocabulary. But he started it off with, "We've never met any of you guys in our life before, right? But yet somehow we're all the same, just different people. People need to understand how much we get done, right? They're over here, they do their classes, and they go home. But what do? We do our classes, and we support the whole student body." Of course, in the moment, we took his words for granted. We were kind of just cringing at him. But he was right. The work we do is far beyond our academics. It is about showing up for others and carrying responsibilities that many never witness. That realization continues to inspire how I approach my role as student body president, with purpose and the belief that student leadership has the power to shape the futures of the students we serve. Overall, my main aim this semester is to keep working towards progression of my initial goals, as well as doing my part to leave a lasting impact on this campus. Thank you to all the faculty for continuing to make CRC a safe and welcoming campus for all students, and your efforts are very much appreciated. As always, ASCRC is located in the library in room 103, and our board definitely appreciates staff input. Here's to a great spring semester, and again, thank you for platforming student voices and having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Iman. Good morning, everyone. My name is Clarissa Correa Hamilton, and I am your Classified Senate President. It is my pleasure to introduce the Classified Senate Executive Team. If you're here, please stand and give us a wave. Ajanique Dismute, Classified Senate Vice President. Linda Stack, Secretary. Tavana Lindo, Treasurer. Miguel Lemus, Past President. It is also my pleasure to introduce our classified Senate senators. Again, if you're here, please stand and give us a wave. Area 1, Molly Anna Robinson. Area 2, Hua Vu. Area 3, Mei Li Vang. Area 5, Teresa Lopez. Area 6, Tali Lopez. Area 7, Claudia Hoffman. And Area 8, Alyssa Del Torre. Just one quick announcement. I just wanted to let the classified know that our upcoming classified professional development training is scheduled for February 27th. Our focus will be on AI, and there will be more information to come. Fall 2026, we will also be holding professional development, and that date will be announced. And now I would like to share our recent new hire classified professionals. Casey Andon, Child Development Center teacher. Robert Caprole, laboratory technician. Viviana E. Gonzalez, clerk 3. Hua Win, IT specialist 2. Donna Lane J.T. Inuman, Child Development Center teacher. And Mallory Merlot, Clerk 3. I'd like to take a second to acknowledge and celebrate our incredible classified staff and their work as it relates to today's theme, Practicing Imagination. Keep in mind that imagination isn't just for big ideas or distant goals or dreams. It's something each of us do every day. Every time you find a creative solution, support a student in a new way by thinking outside of the box, or when you suggest improvements or assist in streamlining process for our campus. This allows us to run more efficiently, and that is imagination in action. Imagination is also about curiosity, flexibility, and seeing possibilities where others might only see problems or barriers. By practicing imagination, we make CRC a place where innovation thrives, where students and colleagues alike feel inspired and supported. So thank you for your creativity, your effort, and most importantly, the care you bring every day. It's my pleasure to introduce you to our Academic Senate President, Lauren Wagner.
There's so many faces in this room. Okay, so hello. This is one of my announcements that Sabrina was like, yeah, if you wanted to say that. If you are at home watching this, the latter portion of today will be in person. There will not be a live option. So time your travels accordingly based on when you need to get here. Okay, also, there's a blue Buick in the parking lot. Your lights are on. I don't know, maybe. Okay. So Tanika kind of rehashed for us that a lot is going on outside of our walls here. A lot might be going on in our hearts right now as well. And I know that everyone's carrying something into the new semester, as our students are. So I wrote some stuff about that, but then as I was driving here, I think I threw that idea out and we're gonna go with something else. So I'm just gonna give you some observations on my drive here. I basically drove through a cloud to get here, so I don't know if anyone else was dealing with like massive amounts of fog this morning, but these are some of the things I saw. So one, my filmmaker brain was like, this is awesome lighting, like, ooh, like I could have a character coming through, like this is, okay. But then some things that I saw, there were some kids that were walking to school, and one, like, you know the little kids where the backpack is as big as they are, and they're like running and it's like bopping them in the head as they're going? But like this kid was just full tilt. He was so excited. And I hope that we'll have the experience of some of our students being that kid in our classes. And if they're not, can we be the person that's that excited to come to our classes, and hopefully that rubs off on some of our students? Okay, that was a good one. All right, let's see what else we have going on. Also, while driving through my cloud, even though I knew where I needed to get to, and I've driven this so many times, and I roughly knew where there were stop signs, and I kind of was aware that I was going to be coming up on a stoplight, I couldn't see until I was like right there. So I was relying, it's okay, like I see people are like, oh my God, like I'm here, everyone's fine. Everyone on Cosumnes River Boulevard made it to where they needed to go while I was on the road today. But what I had to do is I had to rely on the car in front of me. And I had to rely on the courtesy tap of the brakes to be like, hello, if there's anyone behind me, like we're gonna be slowing down now. And so, you know, perhaps we can find some symbolism in that we know where we need to get to. We may not see the path ahead of us. It may be super foggy. We may have stretches where the sun burns it off and we're good and we can come up to speed, and that's great. But then we also have to remember that, you know, we don't know what's around the next turn, and we might have to be cautious again, and we might have to rely on the person in front of us or the person who's been there ahead of us. So for our new faculty, you know, whoever came before you, they might have some tips and tricks. When I was in film school, for every production I worked on, I learned things that I would want to adopt and do myself, and then things I was like, we'll just not ever repeat that on a set that I'm on again. So those are things that we can learn from each other as well. So I hope that this semester we can be in community as much as possible and support each other and learn from each other, because everyone in this room has a piece of information I don't have. But if we can all share that, I think, you know, we can all grow and move to a better place together. So that's that. Okay, so some of the people that are going to be helping in this journey with Senate, and we're seeing if I click the right button. Nope, nope, nope. Here we are. Oh, okay. Hi. So if I can get our Senate exec team, just stand wherever you are with the seating configuration. It might not be the best. So Jason Patterson is our vice president. Emily Bond is our secretary, and Scott Crozier is our past president. Okay, I'm just gonna ask all the senators stand up. Your name's gonna hit here eventually. We have senators from the different CACs, so depending on where you fall as a faculty member, you have Senate representation from there. I love my authority that no one is standing up right now. Senators, if you wouldn't mind, could you please stand up just so people get a visual on you? Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you guys very much. Oops, oh my gosh, okay, it's too much. Okay, this is not my clicker. In my clicker, I know what I'm doing. I swear, I'm totally qualified for my job. We also have adjunct senators. So if I have any adjunct senators who are in the room today, I know we had some of you at adjunct convocation last night. Okay, they're super awesome, so even though they're not standing here, we should still give them love because they're amazing. As are our committee chair senators, so if you're a committee chair and that also means you're a senator, please. Sabrina, why are you standing? You're admin, you're not a senator. Okay, no, okay. All right, thank you very much. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay, our new full-time faculty who were hired last spring, welcome. We have been waiting for you. Thank you so much for being here. It might be awkward with the rows to come to the front. If you're kind of in a position where you can, that would be great. If you just want to stand, if you're like, this is my worst nightmare, also I understand. But let's welcome them with a big CRC welcome. Courtney Gunn from English. Galen Gray from photography. Daniel Haggerty, who is our Vet Tech Program Coordinator. Thank you. Just going to take a moment to say, if we bring back the puppy parade at Halloween, I will not be disappointed. I'm just putting that out there. If you don't know, it's amazing. They dress the dogs in costumes and they parade them around. And it is like the best day of the year. You should all be here for that. Tough act to follow, but we're going to try with Tanisha Jenkins. Running the Black Empowerment Center in Umoja. Jane Lillard, Building Inspection Tech. Robert Lopez, Surgical Tech. Matthew Self, Physics and Astronomy. And Adam Tristan, Comm Studies. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for participating and standing up. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay, Senate awards. Ooh. Good job, everyone. Okay, so we have 3 awards that the Senate will be presenting, and I, on behalf of the Senate, and being the lady with the clicker, shall be the one to present the awards. So we had 3 awards that Jason Patterson, our vice president, ably coordinated the voting efforts and getting the descriptions for everything. So thank you very much, Jason, for that. I truly appreciate it. The first award we're going to talk about, oh my gosh, the clicker, is the CRC Sterling Program Award. Each year, CRC programs are nominated for the Sterling Program Award based on the ASCCC, Academic Senate of Community Colleges of California, Exemplary Program Award criteria. The Exemplary Program Award recognizes outstanding community college programs. The winner of the local award becomes the CRC nominee for statewide exemplary program. And the winner is Mikasa. So if someone from Mikasa can come down. They're awesome. Third floor of the library. They have like a little loungy area too. It's very nice to go up there. Okay, the Golden Hawk Award, or Golden Hawk Diversity Award. Each year, CRC faculty or programs are nominated for the Golden Hawk Award based on the ASCCC Standback-Stroud diversity criteria. The Standback-Stroud Diversity Award honors faculty who have made special contributions addressing issues involving diversity. The winner of the Golden Hawk Award becomes the CRC nominee for the statewide Standback-Stroud Diversity Award. And our winner of the Golden Hawk Award this year is Dr. Winnie Tam Hung. Why do we have the best people at this school? I'm just saying. Okay. So for our new hires, you guys are so lucky to be here. Okay, and moving on to the Crystal Apple Award. Each year, CRC faculty are nominated for the Crystal Apple Award based on the Academic Senate for California Community College ASCCC Hayward Award criteria. The award honors outstanding community college faculty who have a track record of excellence both in teaching and professional activities and have demonstrated commitment to their students, profession, and college. The winner of the Crystal Apple Award becomes the CRC nominee for the statewide Hayward Award. And our winner of this year's Crystal Apple Award is Dr. Tanika Bird. And now another president is going to talk to you. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Bush.
Thank you. Y'all know how this works by now. Welcome to the best spring semester in the history of Cosumnes River College. Let's give it up. Before I start, I want to acknowledge and recognize two special individuals who have joined us this morning. First, I would like to recognize the Vice President of the Board of Trustees who has graciously joined us this morning to be in community with us, Trustee Tammy Nelson. Can you please stand? We truly appreciate your presence and your advocacy for our students and for the community that we all get the fortune of serving. So thank you for being here. I want to take a moment for this. We are fortunate to have with us at his last official convocation, his capacity as Chancellor of Los Rios Community College District, Chancellor Brian King. And as I do this, you may not fully, and it's hard to do so, be aware of the amount of responsibility, work, and burden it takes to run over $100 million and more than that organization, having the responsibility of thousands of employees, and have to carry the weight and the responsibility to making decisions each and every day that you believe will serve in the best interest of those that you represent. And to do that over 14 years, I cannot imagine the toll that that takes each and every day carrying that burden. Oftentimes in the midst of criticism, oftentimes with people always second guessing your decisions because you are the focal point of the organization. And whether you agree or not, simply based on us being humans, you could understand the toll that that would take over a period of time. But Chancellor King has done that with grace. He has done that with a tremendous amount of care and concern. Over 11 years ago, I think he made the best decision that he's ever made as chancellor, where he took the risk of a 42-year-old young man to lead Cosumnes River College. And I think every single day over those 11 years, I've been motivated by several things. But one of the things that have motivated me was for him not to have a single day where he regretted that decision that he made 11 years ago. And it's my hope, Chancellor King, that in my role, that I have made you proud, and that you always felt like you made the right decision, and that you were supported by the work that we're doing here at CRC. So thank you for being here, and let's all acknowledge Chancellor Brian King. Thank you.
I love you.
Love you. I don't know if you all noticed, and I don't even know if it's worth noticing at all on top of everything that you have to consider. For the last several convocations, I really tried to get out of just going through the minutia of college updates. That's extremely important, and if you think that is a necessary part of convocation, I would do that. Our enrollment is up. Budget is looking good. We're making headway in outcomes, but we still had headroom to make in order to make sure that our students are successful. That's the update. But I really try to spend time to take a step back to fully understand so we can, I think, mutually appreciate the higher calling of what it means to be educators. For us to be able to get a sense of the why we got into this work into the first place. Why is it that we chose this particular profession? And understanding the calling that we have. I seem like I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if I'm brushing up against the microphone, but I apologize for that. And to understand that what is our higher calling and our highest purpose? And what is it that we have been in position to do, to have the responsibility to further develop human beings that we call students? And today I'm going to continue with that particular approach and that theme. There's a philosopher, early Christian philosopher and theologian by the name of Clement of Alexandria. And if you need to know more about him, I'm sure our philosophy department, Rick and Jacob, can expound upon his role and contribution to theology and philosophy. But he had this quote. He says that, as then for those of us who are diseased in the body, a physician is required. So also those who are diseased in soul requires a pedagogue to cure our maladies. A pedagogue, as you probably all are aware, is an educator. It's a teacher. It's a professor. It's someone who has dedicated their life to develop and to teach and to impart knowledge and wisdom. And Alexander understood that imparting wisdom was such an important exchange, such an important calling, that it elevated to being that of a healer. We talked about all the things that our society is facing right now. Everything that our students and our community and even you are forced to contend with. I posit to us this morning that our role as educators, and we're all educators, whether you're a faculty member or classified professional, your titles are that of a pedagogue, is that of an educator, is to create a space for healing to take place. To create, if you will, a sanctuary of learning. To create an environment where our students can feel, and all of us can feel, vulnerable enough to be able to learn. It is difficult to learn when you're broken. It's difficult to learn when you are damaged. And if you feel like that damage is going to continue, it's difficult to learn when you are in an environment that triggers a similar environment in which you were damaged. Our students are coming to us sometimes with 12 years of educational trauma and damage. And our classroom look like, our services look like, and remind them of the damage that they have already experienced. So there's a barrier that already exists to their ability to have knowledge imparted upon them. And we have the awesome responsibility to heal their modalities of them not feeling confident, not believing they're smart enough, not believing that they belong in an institution of higher education, being told all of their life, perhaps, that they're not worthy to learn. Believing that they are already predestined to live a life of poverty, to live paycheck to paycheck. And you have the ability, with your mere presence, knowledge, and expertise, to be able to heal them. By instilling in them the belief that they are able to, and fill in the blanks. They're able to master the content that you are teaching. That they are able to set a goal and see it realized. That they are able to convey their thoughts coherently. That they will be able to see, most importantly, that they have value because you value them. And you demonstrate that value every single day by acknowledging their humanity, every single day by providing them constructive feedback, value them by understanding what it is they're going through and making space for them to redeem themselves even when they fall short of your expectations. For them to understand that they have a place of safety. that they will be able to grow with us in a way that is healthy. When we see our students as not just our students, but when we see them as ourselves, and if we see them as having the ability to heal us as well, this whole institution would transform to a place of healing. I also understand that we all are on a healing journey. That we all have been damaged. One of the things that I became aware of when I first started at CRC, there's a thing called institutional CRC trauma. That there are folks that have been, I had conversations with folks in the institution that were still carrying hurt and pain that happened in 1984. And we laugh, sometimes I laugh, but it was real. It is real. It impacted their ability to be engaged in the institution because no one has addressed the damage and hurt that had been caused by an administrator or by a colleague. Or they feel like they were slighted and was wrong, and so they now mistrust the institution. And now the lens in which they approach everything within our college is based on that incident and that mistrust. In many ways, that has prevented us sometimes from moving forward as an organization with trust because their reference points has been that damage. So my convocation confession is I think it has taken me too long to realize that you could cause harm even when you're doing good work. That it's possible to cause harm even when you are doing good work. So I want the healing to start today. If I have damaged you or caused you hurt, I want to ask for your forgiveness. Because I feel it. Because I'm in your presence. Y'all know this, I'm an energy person. I'm like, this person is awkward in my presence. I know I did something to them. This person can't look at me in the eye. They're going the other direction. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with it in the moment. That's on me. But I want to take this moment that if me attempting to do good work, if I damaged you, I'm just going to put it plainly. If I damage you in the work that we're trying to do with course success rates, I ask for your forgiveness. It is absolutely the right thing to do. In my opinion, it's the righteous stand to make, but it is still possible that I created harm. And it's never my goal to damage you or to hurt you in any type of way. And for that, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And it's my hope in this that you could create healing space for each other because institutional CRC trauma is real. We have departments that are not getting along or unable to move forward because no one has stepped up and say, forgive me for creating damage. Even when I thought I was right, I have damaged you. If we are unable to create a healing environment for ourselves, how can we create a healing environment for each other? Let's be an organization that is willing to accept forgiveness. Let's be an organization where apologies matter and taking accountability matter. Let's be an organization that can move forward and say, yes, I accept your apology. I see you, and I know it was not your intent to hurt me. So let's move forward in our best interest and the best interest of our student. We do not have to hold on to damage. We do not have to hold on to trauma or drama. It doesn't make us stronger. It only makes us weaker as an organization. In CRC, we are the preeminent college in the nation. And preeminent colleges, the preeminent college in the nation models healing. It models forgiveness. It models grace. It gives space for the benefit of the doubt. It builds on relationships. We are unified by a common mission to not to do harm, but to do good and to elevate any and everyone that comes in our presence, whether that's in the classroom or in the student services or in business services. It is our job to elevate and to see and to recognize, to hear and to affirm the humanity. Even if someone is acting less than human in the moment. Come on, people in student services, financial aid, you can hear me on this. Even if that student is sitting in the very back of the classroom with their earbuds on. Even when they're unable to see it from themselves because they're not doing it out of spite. They're doing it because they need healing. And guess what? You are the healers. So I ask us, as we move forward in this spring semester, is to revisit our pedagogy, to revisit your educational philosophy, revisit your approach as an educator, to see if you can make space in your pedagogy to consider your role as a healer, not a gatekeeper. But a healer. Thank you for your time. And again, welcome to the best spring semester. Not the easiest, don't get confused. Sometimes we got to go through some really hard stuff to get to the good stuff. I want to leave you with this. Not that. Yes, you are right. You are vindicated, Lauren. Hey, part of the healing is giving. Like, we got to make some sacrifices. So where's Michelle at? I want you to connect and see Michelle. I don't have any time left. I'm already over time. Connect about ways that you can give to our institution. We are doing a lot of work around our Student Emergency Fund, making sure that finances is not a barrier to student success. And really, giving starts at home. So we're giving gifts that's going to be directed to student equity, success, basic needs, athletics, and more. Basically, y'all, we need your support and we need your dollars. And we're going to create the easiest way, most seamless way for you to do that, to be able to give and to invest in our institution and invest in our students. So I ask that you see Michelle afterwards. She will send out an email communication after convocation to provide you some information and instruction. With that, I'm going to turn this thing over. I appreciate and most importantly, I love you all. Take care. I'm going to turn it over to, I'm turning this over to Roy Simpson. The convocation address was shorter this spring because we want to make more space, I think, going forward in the spring semester for faculty voices to be centered, their expertise, their knowledge, their wisdom, their work that they're doing. And so we're pleased to be able to bring forth Roy, who's doing some exciting work in AI and an instruction and math department that we think we could all glean and learn from as an institution. So thank you for your willingness, Roy, to share with us. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Steal that from me.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? All right, perfect. Hello, my name is Roy Simpson, and welcome to Spring 2026 at CRC. Those claps go right there. Perfect. As Dr. Bush said, I am giving a talk on innovation in math, what we've been doing in mathematics, in our curriculum, and involving something with my sabbatical and AI. I do want to mention before I begin that there are a couple trigger letters here, OER and AI. So I will give you a heads up right now that I am not saying that you have to bow down to the AI overlords or anything like that. I am a fan of technology, but I'm a fan of technology as a tool, not as replacement. And I think that's very important that we model that to our students in classes, to be able to model how to use modern technology that they're going to be using in the workplace in such a way that it's not replacing their ability to show authentic knowledge. It's very important. And now I'm going to try to master this device. It's so hard. Yeah, I did get 2 clicks there. That was great. But that's okay, because I already said who I am. So here is the status quo that we were dealing with a few years ago before President Bush championed the OER ZTC initiative. We had publisher-tied textbooks. We were completely publisher-tied. We had curriculum discrepancies. That is, when you adopt a textbook from a publisher in mathematics, I can easily tell you that the content in the text was not exactly what was in the curriculum. We often would have to supplement, or in the case of something like pre-calculus, 40% of what the student was paying for wasn't even in our curriculum, which is a crime. They're paying at the lowest price $110 per textbook. That includes online homework, though. That's great. And from my experience, most of the online homework was very kind of low-level, multiple choice. And these publishers, I'm not saying they're evil or anything like that. They're a business. They're trying to make money. But they're incentivized to really overinflate what success is on their part. And I love what Tanika said at the beginning when she said, it's time for us to ask what if. Because that is actually the theme of my entire talk, is what if. Because with the OER ZTC initiative, we're kind of granted this ability to ask ourselves, well, what if we have this? What else could we do? We're not just restricted. So they also, by the way, provided some bells and whistles in their textbooks. So what if? What if we adopted a free textbook? Well, what do we get? We get no cost for our students, and we get a textbook that's embeddable in Canvas, and it's kind of streamlined and looks great. Okay, that's great. But what if we can modify that textbook? Well, there goes the double click. Well, it costs nothing for our students still. It's embeddable in Canvas. It's perfectly aligned to our curriculum, which is a bonus for 2 reasons. One, the students see a textbook that's authentically exactly what they need for their class. Also, instructors that come in who are adjunct or new instructors, you don't have to say, hey, here are the sections you need to talk about in this book. You just say, the book is actually our curriculum. You cover everything in there. That's a beautiful bonus. Makes it very easy for instructors. It's seamless for students because every semester they see the same style. All the OER texts have the same kind of look to them. And the biggest benefit for us is complete ownership. We have a great feedback loop in our department. And I just want to take a moment and say that our department's amazing. The mathematics department at CRC is an amazing department. We've worked diligently to create an OER pathway, a ZTC pathway through all of our curriculum. So a student can go through in all their STEM level classes paying nothing for math textbooks. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Thank you. Well, what if we use OER homework, right? Because it still costs them a little bit for homework. Well, we did that in mathematics, so there we have a picture of it. I don't need to say very much of it, but in mathematics, students get free online homework. But what if we could go further, right? Why can't I add a little bit more bells and whistles to my textbooks, that type of thing? So what if we add our own bells and whistles? What if we had an ability to add digital manipulations for very difficult topics for students in calculus and above or below, right? Something like this embeddable in a textbook, this is actually from our calculus books here, allows students to visualize concepts that normally, back in the day, we'd have to draw this out by hand. And I got to tell you, this is why I don't teach Calc 3. This is Calc 2, but this is why I don't teach Calc 3, is I can't draw for anything in 3 dimensions. It's very, very terrible for me. So this is great for our students. We also have the standard things that most publisher textbooks have, which are embedded lecture videos by CRC math faculty, so it's common voice that they're used to. We also have in our embedded textbook there, the definitions and theorems that are in the section, and also common student mistakes that they make. Now, what if we can go further than this? Well, all right. Self-congratulatory moment, hold on. Do you see all those dollar signs with the slashes through them on the right-hand side of the screen there? Those are all ZTC sections in mathematics and statistics just this semester. 68 sections of ZTC classes. Average class size, 37. Normally, those students would be paying $110 for online homework and textbook. That's a pretty significant savings. It's actually well over $250,000 in savings for our students. And that's each semester. Each semester, that's what our students save. But what if we could do more? Right? Why stop there? What if we created an AI tutor? Now you hear that silence. I thought about this actually yesterday. Why is it so offensive to us as instructors, AI? I could, laundry list, right? I know there's about a dozen things I could say off the top of my head, but the thing I thought about was, we're the A students. What does AI do? It smooths a playing field and lets the F student look like a B student or an A student. And it offends us. And it offends me, actually. It offends me deeply. So this is something, I don't have a solution. I'm not going to come out with some Dr. Bush like, but. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. I'm offended by it, and I don't know how to feel about it. However, our students are going into industries where they need that. Not need that smooth line. I'm saying they need to use AI. So, yeah, it's just kind of a side note there that I thought about that. I thought, that's why I'm offended. Because I worked my butt off. And I have kids that just turn in perfect homework. Yeah, sure you did it. So we have to figure out one way. This is not the purpose of my talk today, but I will say this. Change how you assess. That's the only way you're going to beat it, right? Allow them, model good AI usage in the classroom, and allow them, let them know you're going to use this in industry, okay. But I'm assessing your authentic knowledge. So when you come to my room, everything off. I want to know what you can do, not what your AI can do. Usually when students email me, hey, professor, I hope this day finds you well, or whatever, I tell them, my AI will talk to your AI. Anyway, back on track here. What if we created an AI tutor, right? We could talk about that all day, right? But what if we could? So I coined Hawk AI. If you know anything about, this is embedded in our textbooks, if you know anything about Gemini and Google, this is just a fancy notebook LM. Its corpus of knowledge is restricted to the sections that the student are in, or the student is in, and all the sections prior to that, so it doesn't give them information beyond where they're at. And it has all the bells and whistles that a normal notebook LM has. It's designed to be Socratic, a Socratic tutor. So it's not like, hey, how do I solve this question? Oh, the answer is this. No, it does this. Well, what was the first thing you did? It's the most annoying tutor ever for a student. But it's there for them. Well, what if we could have AI-generated section guides? Now, this part, I gotta be honest with you, is mostly just what Notebook LM will do. But all students have access to a section-specific visual guide of what that section covered. This is very nice for the visual learner, okay? And by the way, the math faculty in the room can approve that. That is actually a very, very nice section guide for the hardest section in all of calculus, all of Calc 1 at least. Well, what if we create AI-generated quizzes that have been vetted by me or by another faculty member? Because you do have to vet these. Once you create them, they're cemented. So they don't change on a student-by-student basis. So you have to vet them. So these are doable within, whoops, there goes the double click. Let me go back, one, forward, and click. There we go. These are embeddable within Notebook LM. They're full quizzes with explanations as to why a student got an answer right or wrong. So very nice, and they're not high stakes. They're not high stakes. They're zero stakes. All part of augmenting the learning process. Also, I think the most famous thing from Notebook LM is the podcast feature. That doesn't work in mathematics. Nobody wants to hear math. It's terrible. I'm an Audible subscriber. I have 4 math books in my Audible library that I have yet to listen to because I don't want to hear f of x equals e to the 3x minus 4. I just don't want to hear that. But they do video things. And for instructors, if you have to do something in a pinch, I would not do this in mathematics, but it might work well for other disciplines. It will create slide decks for you, lecture slide decks if you had to. And these ones generated by Notebook LM for mathematics actually are pretty impressive for the general content of that section, actually the hardest section in, like I said, all of calculus. Well, that's great, but what if, right? So here's the deal. This is my sabbatical. I'm here one day this semester. That's why you get this. I am embedding as much technology, useful technology, into our workflow, both for the student and for the instructor, as I possibly can. It's meant to help, not get in the way. And one thing that we've experienced in mathematics, and I think this is experienced for many of the disciplines out there, is that we have students coming in or placing in at a level beyond their skill set. That's just a reality of the modern placement system. I can tell you, I've been here 19 years, and I collect data every single year, and I've taught Calc 1 almost every single year. I could tell you that post AB 705 and 1705, that's a drinking game every time I say that, that my success rates are 58% of what they used to be. And this is because this massive knowledge gap, a huge knowledge gap. And so everything I've talked about so far is about how do you help a student with the current material. But really what we should be asking is how do you help the student with the stuff they forgot or never were introduced to? And it's very important for you to realize that in a course like calculus, which everybody's placed into now, there are like 250 prerequisite topics. And in a single chapter, there might be around 60. And we have 2 hours extra per week to cover. Between 6 and 12 years of missing information. So I have to figure out a way, using both AI and my brain, to bridge that gap to help students. What if we could, what if we could create a warehouse of prerequisite skills? Okay. What if I could create one big massive planet? By the way, all the mathematicians in the room, please ignore the symbols on there. They mean absolutely nothing. That's generated by AI, which is stupid. So everything, it's like Euler's equals E to the, that makes no sense. But what if I create this planet called, I call it the co-requisite codex, and it contains every prerequisite topic for our courses at CRC, for our math courses at CRC. And in that co-requisite codex, it contains the definitions, the theorems, examples of these topics. Well, by itself, it's just a book on a shelf. That does the student no good. So what if we could direct the students to those? So I use, again, AI with the help of my brain and my experience to go through every single section of every single textbook to identify the topics students will need from prerequisite courses to be successful, to actually step into that section. And then within the textbook, there's an expandable piece. I went two. There's an expandable area where it shows the prerequisites and links directly to that co-requisite codex. If I had stopped there, that's pretty good. Because students go, I'm going to need to know this skill, and I can't even remember those words. Luckily, I can link back in their videos, by the way, in the co-requisite codex as well. But if it stopped there, I think I'd be happy, but I like that question, what if? So the last one. What if I can build a class-specific profile of your students? What if, when I start chapter 2 of my calculus class, I can say, hey, next Monday, we're starting chapter 2. I want you guys to take this chapter assessment, pre-chapter assessment. It's just going to be old skills, but I just want you to authentically engage with it. Don't use AI, please, because it's only going to hurt you. Just do this. It's not part of your grade. It's part of your commitment to success. So students take that, and it feeds back to the students a profile of, hey, here are the topics you're missing, but it feeds to the instructor a classroom profile. Your class, amazingly, is great with trig. Terrible with all types of equations, though. So you're going to have to review that in your extra 2 hours per week. So now I've taken those 60 topics per chapter that normally we'd have to squeeze into 2 hours a week, which is impossible. And I've found the top 10 to say, spend some authentic, long time on these to help your students, because your specific class needs these specific skills. Again, I'm a fan of AI, huge fan of AI, huge fan of technology, but I'm not so much a fan that I don't acknowledge the fact that it is a cheater's paradise and that it'll feed you stupid information and you have to hold his hand the entire time. But I think as long as we model that and also include it, just think about how to include this technology. I'm not saying you have to. You don't have to. I'm not your boss. But it'd be great to think of the what ifs. What could I do to help my students? What is a fascinating thing that they might benefit from? And don't make yourself lazy. Don't use AI to do what you should be doing, which is teaching, right? But use it to hone, to identify and target the topics that would be best suited for you to teach your students in a remediation course. Oh, by the way, I said this all out loud. I didn't bother clicking because I just figured whatever. That's what I have for you. I do want to say a big thank you, I think. Yeah, huge thanks, President Bush, for the ZTC OER initiative, because that's hugely important, so thank you very much. A massive thank you to Andy Adkins-Pogue. She has been phenomenal. Wherever you are, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Huge thanks to CRC leadership team for giving funds when they can so that we can continue stuff like this. And finally, to my math department, which is a courageous group of good friends and great people that I think don't get the acknowledgement that they deserve. They are an amazing group, and they have to deal with me. So that's very important that I thank them. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful spring semester. I'm gone. Bye. Oh, Tanika's coming up to say something, so don't run away yet.
Another round of applause for Roy, yeah? We did not coordinate, but that what if is so important, right? That what if. Let's continue that throughout the semester. We have currently reached the end of our portion of Convocation that is going to be live streamed. So all of you folks who are at home or somewhere else on campus, thank you so much, but we will be logging off and we're not coming back, so it's not like a glitch or something, all right? So just wanted to put that out there. But what's going to happen next for those of us who are in the room? We are going to switch and kind of change into our, I'm going to call this a choose your own adventure portion of Convocation. So it's going to look a